So
Yeah.
I think that was a pretty big blunder with the draft. Still, they had their chances. They got the courier snipe early with the Doom. That was really
FY.
good. FY still, I mean, you banned Bounty Hunter. Somehow he's still playing Bounty Hunter, even though it's Doom. So that was really impressive. And they had their moments. This was a very unfortunate engagement for VGR. They come into the pit too late. I think they end up giving up 3 kills here. And I feel like the game was mostly already in OG's hands at this point.
Yeah. It was already pretty hard for VG to fight. They just ran into their like 3 versus 5. You know that they were feeling a little bit desperate.
I go back to the draft, and we talked about taking Lion away from VG. I think that was one of the big things OG did in the draft as well, because they don't have to ban it. They get something that is probably the best way to do with Ember, and it opens things up a lot.
What did you guys think about No-Tail's performance on the Lycan? We were talking about how we had not seen OG play it really at all here. Obviously something they may have just picked up from Na'Vi or not. They've incorporated it into their own lineup here. Do you think it's something they might kind of continue to throw into their own little Rolodex?
They were dire side. They wanted somebody that could take Roche. They probably weren't planning on picking Miracle, a hero that could. So, yeah, I think it fit in quite well in that regard.
Yeah, objective taker. They didn't really have anything that was that great at taking objectives except for the Enchantress.
He wasn't really under that much pressure, to be fair. Like, there was a Darkseer in the lane, but there wasn't like a lot of ganking from FY per se. So, all things considered, I just think VG Gaming's draft was a little weak in terms of like reliable lockdown, in terms of reliable killing potential. There were a lot of times where the Ember would get Doom, barely make it away. We saw it with the Lycan as well, healed up by the Enchantress at least once. Barely surviving on Sliver of HP, so a bit light on the lockdown. The Lifestealer Darkseer combo came out. I thought we were going to see a lot of cheese around the the Surge, Iron Shield Ancient. That didn't really happen. So.
I noticed that ZOAF never likes to do the Ancient antics whenever he plays the Lifestealer.
I mean, it is hard. Like, we saw Loda play Lifestealer in one of the games, and it almost felt like he spent too much time running around in the Ancients. At first, it seemed like, oh, this is really cool. He's scouting for relocate ganks, but the longer it went on without getting kills, it's like, you could just be farming during this time. If you have the Black Dragon, you can farm and do that a bit, but if you don't, then it feels underwhelming later on.
It ended up being great for Loda, though. He was getting so much information out of that. He was falling behind a little bit, but they had things to fall back onto.
They also had heroes who could instantly show up to the fight. They had the Wisp. Did they have a Nature's Prophet that game? I can't recall, but Bat Rider as well. So I think they had a little better of a lineup to play around it than what.
Yeah, they had like the Queen of Pain as well and everything. They just were constantly able to outnumber the other team. So
this time, obviously, the first pick will be changing around as we get into game number 3. But is there any reason why OG shouldn't approach the draft in the same sense? I don't know if that means getting up the early jungle and denying the Lion pick once again.
I'm really wondering who's going to get first pick. They have not. I guess they're doing another coin toss here for the deciding game, so not sure who's going to get it.
I'm liking Moon on these like initiators or counter initiators.
Not liking him so much on the Prophet or.
It doesn't really seem like
it's the greedier offlaners.
It just doesn't seem like it's working out for anyone.
Yeah. So I guess those heroes would be Beastmaster, Bat Rider, the 2 big ones.
He played Tide already once.
Tide, yeah, that's the counter initiate I was thinking about.
And it was another game, to be fair, where VGR. The team that didn't have that great initiator was the team that struggled. Like, you had Darkseer, not a great initiator, a great team fight presence. If you're pushing into him and he gets a big blink vacuum, sure, but like it's not reliable the way a Bat Rider or Beastmaster.
Yeah, they had the puck as well, but that's still not the same thing. And they didn't really have anything to give them like that vision. Like same thing. It just seems to be like the recurring issue going on in these series.
Vision and initiator. Like, and the thing is, puck doesn't initiate well. If Lycan's already morphed, like he can probably still get away. Ember Spear can just remnant through the coil, break it, and not really care.
Yeah.
So those are. I mean, puck is a great initiator, but this just wasn't a game where he matched up that well against the enemy heroes.
Yeah. I mean the Lion. Like, I think that's just the key. The Lion.
Yeah, just pick Lion.
Pick Lion, win game.
FY Earthshaker maybe. Situationally can be strong.
Maybe. I mean,
at that point, that was the other thing. Is at that point they already had picked their support.
Exactly. So. Yeah.
So what's the biggest factor to revolve around? You're calling out for a bunch of things like having map control, having the lockdown on one side.
I think it is biggest things are vision and initiation. So Vengeful Spirits, potentially like a backup option if you can't get one of the Beastmaster or the Bat Rider. Night Stalker was available. They didn't go for it. At least first phase it was. What else comes to mind? Spectre is a carry, but that's more situational. I don't think you go for that every game by any means.
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's not like, oh, vision and initiation are always like essential. They are important, but it's more, especially for VGR and the way OG play, You do not want it to turn into a far more with Miracle and the way OG play around that. Like that is their bread and butter. That is their comfort zone. Take it away from them. What VGR do best is pressure, and they just couldn't pressure that game because of the hero matchups.
Yeah, it just seems like we were saying, that's just the best part about like this tournament. It seems these people, everybody just seems to be like working the best when they have that easy type of initiation, that information that they're constantly having on the maps.
So first pick is going to be going, it looks like, to VG, and OG are going to be dire for Game 3. So what do you first pick?
If it's the trend that's been going right now, it'd probably be the Doom, I guess. But maybe we need to mix it up.
So VGR have been banning IO and Invoker.
Yes.
And OG have been banning
Beastmaster,
and what was it? It changed from game 1 to
Enchantress game number 1. Beastmaster Enchantress for game number 1. For game number 2,
it was Beastmaster and
wasn't the Beast
Earth Spirit?
It wasn't
Earth
yeah,
Spirit.
Earth Spirit.
That's right. No, Scott very excited about your memory. Okay, so then what do you first pick at that point? This game they went for the Doom. Should they hold off on the Doom?
Are we gonna see a Lion first pick?
I don't mind a Lion first pick at all. I think
That's
it's
giving
pretty,
the finger
it's
right
decent.
there at the start of the draft.
All right, that'd be. I mean, that would be extremely strange, but maybe it's gonna happen. It seems like it's gonna be the most contested hero between these two teams.
Lion slowly
Lion,
climbing
I
up
mean,
the ladder. Like he's been like, you know,
It won a
fourth pick
certain secret
material,
team of major
creeps
guys.
in.
There was a
second,
time where
now he's
Venge
first.
was first pick every single game, so
Yeah.
it wouldn't be too unorthodox to see a support hero coming in rising that highly.
But I think like first phase bans for Vici should remain the same. I think you just ban the
agree.
IO Invoker. That shouldn't change. I think it's much more about like how they open the draft and the later on picks, and just being careful about not leaving the go-to Miracle hero in the pool.
Maybe
The
maybe they take the Enchantress this time.
Yeah, that could work. The Edge Sleeves thing's open-ended. I don't... Crits Enchantress has not really felt like, oh my god, this hero's winning the game for the team. It was kind of that quiet, solid force, help them take towers, but
Yeah.
it's maybe more that Vici need that type of hero than taking it away so much from OG.
Just that lane pressure, you know,
Yeah.
that lane just confidence and dominance.
But it seems like they want... It just doesn't seem like Vici value that as much. They want that like hero that isn't as strong in the lanes, but a little bit more impactful potentially later on.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the potential future matchup? Let's think a little in the future. Whoever is able to make their way out from the series, do you think there's a strong chance for them to be able to kind of edge past the loser of Na'Vi LGD to secure a spot into the grand final?
Yeah, I think all 4 of these teams can win the event.
Absolutely.
I think
Totally agree.
based on what we've seen, I do favor Na'Vi and LGD over these two teams. Just Na'Vi seems like they have that crazy momentum. LGD just looking like they're evolving quickly over the course of the tournament.
A little bit more crisp
Yes.
overall. It feels like they have
More polished.
Yeah, more polished.
Is it-
Exactly.
But Na'Vi has the Na'Vi magic. Like there's several games of this tournament. It's like, all right, they're gonna lose this. They've got dominated in the lanes. They came back against VGR, and I think they have the magic about them right now. So
Yeah.
I would say all 4 teams are definitely in the mix. There's no at past Star Ladders, you've had a lot of the big Star Ladders happen like in the Na'Vi Alliance TI3 dominance era, like leading
When
up to that
Dota was
event.
great.
Maybe Na'Vi will make Dota great again, guys. But I mean, back then, like there was like the clear favorites, and then the other teams way down there. But now
Yeah.
Dota's a lot more even now.
And now we have a draft. Let's get ready to hop into the pinnacle game now. It's game number 3. It comes down to this. Winner moves on and awaits the loser of Na'Vi versus LGD, the loser. They got to pack up their stuff and get the hell out of here.
So IO Invoker, Beastmaster,
Probably Earth Spirit
Earth
again.
Spirit.
Right? Why not? Just ban it again. Worked last game.
So
or Ench. But yeah, probably Earth Spirit.
yeah.
Don't change it up. You just won with your bans. Come on.
Come on.
Do it.
Do it.
No, they can think about it. Plenty of time. 10 seconds left. Just making sure that they confirm it.
It's become obvious for pretty much all the drafts, certainly the drafts today, that it's the first phase, the first 2 picks that have pretty much set the tone. Teams have even chunked through all of their reserve time just to secure the best 1-2 punch in the draft.
Yeah. So do they end here, or do they go back for the Doom, or do they go for something completely different? They go back for the Doom.
Back for the Doom here. I already mentioned before, its versatility doesn't really
Definitely take
give
the
away a
Lion
lot.
if you're OG.
Yep.
That was a huge impact hero last game.
And then
I mean, I still think if they really value the Ember, like I don't mind them taking it even this early. You just have to at that point plan around like single target, reliable lockdown. But
think that's a little bit scary, but they might do it just because of how well Miracle's been playing it.
I
They're
expect
just
VGR
sticking to their guns.
are either going to leave their supports open to counter it, or they're going to ban it second phase. I don't think they're going to get caught by it fifth pick.
Probably going to change away from the Witch Doctor this time. Don't feel like it had as much of an impact as they felt like it would.
Well, especially because like it doesn't seem like the Enchantress picks have been too much about diving the Witch Doctor's lane, and then it's oh, Cask is great against the Enchantress creeps. They're never really matching up against each other in the lane. So yeah, I agree. But they do go for it.
They go for it anyway.
Screw you.
Great call, Yanni.
I mean, what can you say?
I mean, it is fair to question it though. Like, did he really counter Enchantress?
Yeah, and they also
Didn't do much.
just drafted this and they lost with it. But now we're probably going to see what Yang playing the Doom. That might be the switch up that
That
they do
is
here.
definitely the curveball they have. Or well, maybe ZYF Doom, carry Doom.
And then they
That
can
would be very different. But now we do see a different set of bans too. The Batrider seems to be one of the biggest issues. Moon's been having great games. I mean, in this entire tournament so far, is the Batrider. It's his best performance.
And it's been night and day with Moon as well. It's not like, oh, Batrider's been his best hero. He's really struggled on Nature's Prophet.
Yeah,
he's
it's like
had a very tough time on greedier farmers in general in the off lane, or even like when he played Doom, he had a rough time. A hero that just needs more space and time than a Batrider.
Yeah, but
and they do ban
they
Ember.
do ban the Ember.
I really like it. Miracle can play any hero. I'm quite sure of that, but it's more, will it be as difficult for VGR to pressure and try and punish?
I think VGR should go for that Night Stalker.
Definitely a possibility. I can definitely see that. I thought they were going to pick it the last game too. I thought they were going to pick it the third pick and do the Yang off lane, but they went for a completely different route.
Could still be banned here. OG have
I
one
mean,
more banned.
you called it last time, Dakota. What's it going to be? It's Night Stalker third pick for HVG?
I don't know if you want to pick a third. OG are not going to go for it. You can get a fourth.
Is your name Dakota?
He wasn't ready to talk, man. I'm buying him time. He's got to think.
No, I like the idea of the Night Stalker.
So you want to see like right out of this phase, grab the Night Stalker.
I mean, you're right. I suppose. I mean, it's not like they're gonna
Don't let me talk you out
save
of
it out in the back. It's hard to say. It's a pretty flexible draft to begin with here.
I want to see Spectre Puck for Vici Gaming. Depending on what the Miracle Hero is, but
Still 100% win rate on those two together.
yeah. It's all. I guess it all comes down to if OG looks like they're going to be able to put pressure on a Spectre.
Yeah, they don't have the Batrider to pick up this time like they did last time. So what's another? Maybe they go for the Darkseer this time.
Darkseer, Tide.
I think you're way more comfortable dealing with either of those heroes if you're VG.
I mean, hell, they found some success earlier with the Slardar, right? When they went against Alliance.
Yeah.
A bit too early maybe to commit for the Slardar, but you are dire side, so I would say that's something that could toy with.
I just wonder if VGR is going to change it up. Like they have been sticking to the same rubric. Is there any point where they, I don't know, get a Spirit Breaker? Because you're mentioning Slardar. Try to run more of a pushing oriented lineup, something different.
Man, when OG ran the Miracle Wind Ranger in the matchup against mvp.Phoenix in their first game, he had a ridiculous performance. That was when he came off of that struggling day number 1. And man, he really shined. He ended up 17-1.
They had
game.
ridiculous teamwork that game.
Yeah.
He went the Blink Dagger first. It was just
that was
just great plays
the
coming
day
out
of
him.
Wind Ranger. I think Dendy had his Wind Ranger game
Yeah.
there as well. But Miracle dominated from minute 1 that time. So this is a hero that can take over mid if you make mistakes. By the way, OD is still out there, and Vici do have the Doom, and that's not an OD. They go Queen of Pain.
Meepo.
I really didn't see them going for the co-op there, but I guess it's just a good matchup versus the Windrunner, and that's what they're expecting it to be.
Can be tough versus Lion later on, but
Exactly.
so. All right, do you think it's off-lane Doom at this point, or do you think it's still open-ended?
I think they're still just leaving it open. That's why they picked the Queen of Pain, and then they're just kind of leave it what they want to decide for the 4th pick. They want to get more information out of OG's draft.
Well, we used to see a lot of Wind Ranger. I mean, you mentioned Slardar. Like, we used to see those two together for the amp damage and just the heavy physical right
Going
click.
back for the Lycan, yep.
Lycan.
I guess you got a good thing going. Why really change it? Hefty Rush. Howl will certainly benefit a lot with someone like the Enchantress
They don't
there.
have much control. They don't have a Beastmaster. They don't really have any reliable lockdown at all for VGR right now.
Not liking the Night Stalker really anymore at this point.
Yeah, probably not.
But yeah, like you said, they need the lockdown instead.
They're light on D-push too, honestly. Like, Doom has none, unless he gets the Satyr creep. Cask is not that great when it's a huge creep army. And Quap's ult is a very long cooldown unless you're going to get an egg, so...
What about like a trusty Vengeful Spirit or something? Venge, Shadow Shaman.
For
support-
VGR or for OG?
Yeah, just some sort of additional lockdown for VGR. This is still going along with the theme that this will be.
It
a
doesn't
Yang
give you much D push though. So they have to.
Yeah, their shock is a little bit of D push.
If you're running into shock the wave, you're probably dying.
Probably not too sure.
They went Lifestealer last game.
I mean, they could do that still again. They ran the Lifestealer with the Queen of Pain.
I didn't think it was very good. I don't think he matches up that great against Lycan. He doesn't stop the push.
Yeah.
Unless you itemize like Radiance and run around in an Ancient, I guess. He could just run away from you even if you throw the open wounds. You don't really have to man fight. This time they don't have a puck either. Quap does not want to jump on top of Lycan. So.
What about Gyrocopter?
Comfort is the gyro, yeah. I was
does
thinking
that
the
really
same
fit
thing.
here at
But
all?
that's
I
like
mean-
full comfort. Not sure if it's too good versus OG's draft, though. They have a lot of different ways to deal with it. Enchantress is quite good versus gyro in general throughout many stages of the game.
The heroes available to him are quite limited as well. Like Juggernaut's banned, Sven's banned. Can they run Ember?
It's banned.
Oh, sorry, they banned it. What am I talking about?
Do you think there's also potential room for one of these two teams, maybe even OG, to creep in a Broodmother pick? One of those dirty late pickups?
Moon did used to play it. Hey, Nature's Prophet is still out there, and depending on the lanes, could be a very good NP game.
They're running through a lot of their time right now.
Well, this pick pretty much sets the draft, and it is going to be the
Spectre.
Spectre that we talked about, but no teamfight initiator yet. So, Darkseer?
Darkseer, Tide. Just
Ion
don't think
Shell
about
Spectre is really, really strong.
Yeah, it's something that the Chinese teams used to run a lot. We'd see them do the Visage, Darkseer, and the Spectre, and they would do it in combination. But that was probably about almost 2 years ago where it was very, very popular.
Oh, wow, it's actually OG who banned the Brood, so right hero, wrong team.
That was a really good ban. I
Yeah,
think that
if-
might have been what Vici could have been looking at.
Yeah, if they have a Brood creating that much space for Spectre, and it matches up pretty well against Lycan Lion. At that point, you might have to commit the Enchantress to shutting it down.
Vici, not a lot of time here. Banning out the Slardar.
All right, so Moon Hero, I mentioned,
Like
really
you
good
were
with
saying.
the Wind Ranger,
Yep.
helps you take Roche.
Now you're just stuck with like what? The Darkseer, the Tide, or Nature's Prophet. Or
Yeah, I
the
mean, Howl-
Ringer's there for Moon.
Howl plus Furion. That was one of the times we saw the Furion actually
Or the
be able to win.
Faceless Void, if we'll ever see some playtime or not.
No,
Not for OG.
not now. Not at this stage. After nobody's been picking it, that would be really, really strange to see that picked up.
Just because you said that, they're going to pick
Now
it.
they're gonna pick it. Yeah,
Yeah.
seriously.
Instant
I
snap
can't get
it.
anything right.
pretty
now. I
awesome.
can't get
The
anything
The
right
best
now.
is when you say it, and then it's like when a person say it, and then instantly, like, as they're saying, like, that's never going to happen, right away it gets grabbed up.
Yeah, it's like, oh, Kunkka's terrible. Kunkka.
Kunkka first pick. Ultra kill.
Yeah, exactly.
Would it have to be something that goes along with the tempo that a Lycan does bring and how he just comes online sooner and you're typically looking to end the game? You know,
They need a way to take the fights.
Some team fight.
This lineup wants to push. They're up against the Spectre Quap. That is a lot of damage. They're lacking control, but you have to imagine VGR want team fight control with the last pick. So, I mean, I think they're heavily hoping for a Darkseer here.
team
It's
fight
also one of Yang's go-to heroes.
Yeah. Outside of that is, yeah.
I mean, the other option, I guess, is an offlane puck if they just want a little more lockdown for the Lycan.
The Moon Puck.
Oh, I'm saying for VGR.
Oh, for
But I'm
VGR.
saying VGR, I think they want one of like something along those lines. A Darkseer, a puck. As for OG, they also need a Moon Hero, like you said. It could be a Prophet, but
Yeah, they go
they're
back for the
gonna mix
bounty.
it up. They get a Bounty Hunter, so
Offlane Edge?
offlane Enchantress.
Maybe offlane Bounty.
And a Dota.
Yeah, could be offlane
No,
Bounty.
we haven't seen that in a long time. Not
The
since,
offlane
not
Bounty
since
was
TI5.
He was really popular.
TI3.
TI5.
That was Bulldog.
Really?
Well, they played it once, didn't they? Didn't see that? They picked it one of the games, and one of the teams heavily counterpicked it, and they just threw it in the offlane.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. But like what we used to see it all the time was TI3 era when there's
Yeah.
you get like a lot of
Definitely.
1v1 matchups and Bounty would crush like a lot of heroes in that
Mhm.
type of situation.
15 seconds for Vici.
Is that why gonna get a taste of his own medicine now?
So there's I mean, we were saying Darkseer that makes heavy team fight all over the place, so it's good with the Spectre.
But do you want to, like, then you're running the Doom in the jungle, and
Or-
Bounty Hunter's running around. harassing
Earthshaker,
you.
okay. I was going to say, or they go back for an
We
FY
don't know
hero.
yet. Still could be, yeah, FY. Probably going to be picking up that Earthshaker and throwing Yang on the Doom to the off lane.
Predictions?
I think this was, this is, I like VGR, actually. I think having the Vision hero is really big. Earthshaker's great against Lycan. VGR.
I'll go VGR as well.
I will go with OG, gentlemen. So with that, let's go ahead and throw it over to the Cyber Sport Arena where we have Ayesee and GoDz. Gentlemen, take it away.
Well, another series goes the distance, and ultimately one more team going to be going home. Decisive game number 3 between OG and VGR coming up. It's been, well, to be honest, lopsided. It's been a series where it's been stomp for stomp. Don't know if this is going to be, and usually in my experience, it's like stomp, stomp, 85-minute legendary game that gets
Bring it on,
passed.
bring it on.
Exactly.
Let's go. We've
So-
had only 3-game series today. It's only fitting.
Yep.
Let's end it with a bang.
Well, we're going to jump on into the action now, but more importantly, like looking at this, once again, the Bounty Hunter slips all the way to a 5th pick, so we see that come out. And we already saw a Bounty Hunter absolutely take over and control a game. Last time, though, it was VGR using it to maximum effect. FY, the Bounty Hunter legend. This time it's going to be Crit trying to match his performance in Game 1. But aside from that, give me your quick thoughts on the draft as we spend the first 60 seconds waiting on the runes to spawn.
I don't feel the Bounty Hunter's as potent as when we saw it in Game 1. Still a good pick by all means, but you don't snowball from the early game with this kind of a draft. Lycan is much more like a, let's take towers, you're a bit more methodical, it's a bit more of a strategic pick, whereas VGR Game 1 was like, let's just run at them, keep killing them over and over again with the Doom, with everything else that went with it. So for OG, they're going to look to probably more than anything, pressure Spectre a ton. Enchantress as an offlane hero, very much a lane dominator, doesn't do great in the mid game necessarily if you've got the heroes to deal with it, but with a Bounty roaming and Enchantress able to pick up a creep or two early on, this offlane could be miserable for Spectre.
Oh, I hate it when you do that. I was actually going to follow up and make myself sound insightful by asking you, but you already beat me to it. That was my thought too. You look and you see the Bounty and the Enchantress. If those two get active early, they start putting pressure in the right ways, especially on that Spectre. It could be a very long game or comparatively a short game in the wrong way for VGR. Anyway, the horn blows, and we're going to see the Queen of Pain and the Wind Ranger both take the Bounty runes, so no contesting of those as the lanes take shape. Let's once again see who's handling who. We're going to see a creep block just in time for me to flash and check you out there, FY, with that sexy golden totem on your back. He's going to be on the Earthshaker. Witch Doctor going to be played by DDC, setting up shop here at the bottom lane. Going to be helping out our Spectre, played by End, as he farms out of the safe lane. Doom going to be taken by Yang once again out into that off lane. And Queen of Pain, played by Mikasa, here in mid. Other side of the river, it'll be Fly back on this Lion again. The Bounty Hunter, as mentioned, played by Crit. He's roaming and looks like he may want to try to go for a courier snipe of his own this game. He was currently setting up shop in mid. Miracle matching up against Mikasa with the Wind Ranger here in mid. Enchantress, played by Moon. He's over in the off lane. And Lycan, of course, once again played by No Tail, and once again farming up the safe lane.
They get to fly off on Yang. He's going to take a bit of damage with the howl, so... Whoa, speaking of damage, Fly, Infernal Blade, that's a spell you don't want to mess around with.
Infernal Blade is pretty good value point, I think, especially at this level. But so far, everything's kind of quiet all across the board. A little bit of harassing going on. Crit's got eyes on DDC.
And Moon's like got the dream creep. Finding this Satyr Tormentor early on is just an offlane Enchantress's dream. Unfortunately for him, he drops down an Observer Ward in range of a Sentry, so that's an easy D-Ward for DDC, who takes the Shockwave, but he's got that double Tango regen from the D-Ward.
Well, this bottom lane looks to be getting a little volatile here. And Moon going to be zoned out. We can see the Satyr doing good damage again. That's going to be 3 more shots he's got with the Shockwave.
Interesting Dire Sentry. He's trying to de-sentry this area, but DDC also has his Sentry in the trees. Crit is like, what's going on here? And his rotation bottom will be scouted. This is a really good defensive tri-lane execution coming out from VGR so far.
Yeah, Fly started out over in the off lane, just helping his buddy out, but his rotation now has made it pretty tough sledding for OG. Moon is going to get, just look at this creep wave, though, that he's going to be dragging back under his own tower. This is an immense amount of experience and gold he's going to pick up.
Yep.
Oh, Yang, top, got there just in time, barely able to escape. He's level 3 using Scorched Earth, has yet to place his 3rd point, or if he has, he's put it in stats.
Yeah, he's been trading hits a lot with the dual lane up top. He's managed to get a decent chunk of XP, so really pushing his hero to the limits here in the offlane. And finding level 3.5 early, we'll have to bring out some extra regen or just go back to base fairly soon. And we'll see what his plan. He wants to draw aggro from the creep wave off the tower, but he needs to make sure he does so without going down. Stay out of range of the Impale. And he's still leeching XP with where he is. And with his creep wave showing up, he's actually in a pretty safe position here.
Yep, they've got the glyph if they want to use it to keep the tower up for now, though. 2 points into Scorched Earth, so we'll have that extra bit of regen
Zero
as well.
Devour. This is a very unconventional Doom build coming out. I believe he was actually hoping to get level 4 off that creep wave so he could kind of back off, find a Devour, but 3 XP short. He waits for the courier and has boots en route.
I know it's been a long time since I casted, but the day of, oh yeah, we're about to ding 4, we've got the value point into Infernal Blade and none into Devour. Like, that's just unthinkable. Like,
Yeah.
Based on my history in Dota, that is just, it's blasphemy. Crit, got an eye on FY. FY is level 2, Crit just short of dinging level 2 himself. Well, I mean, again, a lot of movement, but so far, other than some damage being traded, things relatively quiet. 19 CS for the Lycan, 18 for Miracle, puts him in 2nd position here in mid, slightly outpacing Mikasa, who's at 16 now, 14 for the Spectre at bottom, then just a grab bag and mix of numbers after that.
Yeah, it's really a low impact first 4 to 5 minutes of the game coming out from the Bounty. Top lane may find an opening here for Bounty Hunter as he will rock up soon. Yang's taking a lot of damage.
He's got that level 2 into Scorched Earth, though. Crits right there, and bing, down he goes. Fly drawing first blood. He was playing super aggressive on No Tail, really showing off the power. Up, hang on. Beautiful block down bottom as FY cuts off the retreat path for Moon. They're going to chase him over to the side shop. 2 points into Untouchable this time, and Nature's Attendants keeping him alive. This is the misery of an early game Enchantress. So much time is being wasted right now trying to track down this kill. Looks like, nope, they're still not going to get it perhaps. Moon trying to cut through the trees, still manages to make it away. So close, but the hero that does manage to track it down is the one you want drawing the kill, and that was in. In the meantime, looks like we missed a kill on the Quap in mid.
Solo kill by the looks of it. Miracle has a double damage rune, and I can only imagine Shackle power shot with a couple right clicks. Moon just styling over that bottom lane. It's crazy, like he just completely broke their ankles, but he even had the salve, so he actually could have ultimately lived perhaps, but he was trying to do too many things at once. Tangoing through, grabbed the creep, which gives him movement speed, and then didn't end up getting any value out of his salve, but great presence here in the bottom lane coming out from Moon.
Ooh, Mikasa once again dodging a power shot in mid, was very low and had to expend a bottle charge just to be where he is now, and that's with the power shot missing. But yeah, back to that Moon, that little Moon engagement at bottom. You ever have one of those times where you know what you want to do, and then when it happens and it actually works out, you're so surprised you actually screw up the last step of it?
Well, it's great. I think he actually thought the Spectre wasn't going to right-click him because that Spectre attack ended up being like a 300, 400 range when it finally like swung out. He was almost outside of like the range where it would have been disjointed, or he would have had to restart his attack animation. So a bit unlucky. And for the offlane Enchantress, you're still very happy at the space you've created. Looking at just the CSs, Lycan almost has doubled the Spectre's CS with all the space he's created, and that's good news for OG. They've actually moved Lycan into the jungle to roam around to give Lion the lane. Great play.
Kill on the bounty here in mid.
Nicely played, Mikasa.
Yep, very well played. And, the power shot
boy.
From off screen. Oh, man. I know people complain about VAC, but my goodness, the aimbot is real.
This guy, there's a reason he's going to be our first 9K MMR player. Give it some time.
Well, Miracle taking his tally to 2-0-0. I think you can call that a fairly successful mid lane run. He's sitting currently at level 7, highest level on the map in terms of CS. Not quite as high as the Lycan, but close enough, 35 to the 43. So we're at about 7 minutes in now, GoDz. We've got, hang on, down at bottom. Crit. He got spotted. He just got pinged.
Oh, wow. And he was actually just here as like it's a nice little hiding spot you can use because you don't get scattered by creep waves, but ultimately won't be able to do too much unless I think Enchantress is actually level 6, so there is a lot of harass potential onto Spectre.
Yep, Spectre forced back, gonna have help teleporting in though.
He's
It's
not going to be able to farm here. That's the problem. Dust on Witch Doctor. Crit needs to be careful.
Ooh. Oh, there we go. There's going to be the dust. Crit's going to die for sure. Really well placed with the cask. And Moon, I don't know, Nature's Attendance every time. Oh, there's a great fissure.
Close. Doesn't look like they'll have it, though.
Just can't kill her, man.
No.
Cannot kill a level 6 Enchantress this early in the game. Can't be done.
Still a good pickup on the Bounty Hunter. The Witch Doctor rotating in with Dust. The Haunt being used a bit unfortunate because it now means that this level 6 Spectre can't get as active as you'd like to.
I think VG heard me. And they're, you know what, shut up, AC. It can be done. They've rotated just about the whole
With
team.
Flop, yeah.
They are
Bring 'em
absolutely
all.
sick of Moon. And look at the slow attack speed because of the 3 points and untouchable. Don't know that it's going to matter. They finally track her down again. So Moon doing a fairly solid job.
It's an expensive rotation because it's freed up Miracle. He's free farming mid lane. His CS is almost double that of the Queen of Pains, and he's getting this tier 1 mid tower very low. So all in all, it's still space grade from Moon. That's a death you're entirely okay with. Both of his deaths have really been justified, and it's OG who are kind of getting much more out of this early game.
Yep, I was going to say, words out of my mouth. It was quite a good job by Moon and just forcing the enemy team to adapt to what he's doing as opposed to the other way around.
Yeah, this is like the power of the offlane Enchantress. This is why it became such a popular, trendy thing in NA Dota. And we're seeing the return of it here coming out from Moon.
At the top, No Tail, sitting on level 7, not far from his Vlad's. Oh, no, it's actually going to be a medallion.
Lion is level 7, by the way. That is a
That's
very
actually
fast
huge.
level 7. Finger on Lion has smoke. He's going to use that with No Tail. Could be a Roche, an early Roche with the medallion. Curious to see what the idea is here for No Tail and Fly. For Fly, you're thinking, let's use my first finger. For No Tail, you're like, I could Roche. I've also got Shapeshift if you want to go for a gank. So got lots of possibilities here with this. They could even just split up. No Tail's like, oh, I'll go Roche. You go for a pickoff. But without the Vlad, the Roche isn't the easiest or fastest thing to do.
Yeah, it looks like they're going to go ahead and go hunting. And up.
Top lane, crit.
Yep. There's going to be the kill picked up there, and more importantly, the Haunt actually managed to successfully reveal No Tail and Fly moving through the jungle if they're paying attention. That's
really valuable. So they avoid that first Lion Finger of Death smoke gank, and OG's rotation bottom will secure them a tier 1, but VGR making a really smart rotation out of that bottom lane to avoid giving up any kills.
Yeah, VGR smoked up, got 2. It's DDC and Fly. Or excuse me, FY. Looking for some kind of a target. A lot of movement taking place now, and I don't think that's that surprising given the way the draft has gone and how important it is to make space for both the Lycan and the Spectre on each side. And here in mid, they're going to try to engage. Miracle takes a bit of damage. He's got the Mikasa taking a lot of damage from Focus Fire and the Finger, but not enough. Power shot, just enough, as a matter of fact. Now Fly in trouble. He's going to get the Hex up, and he's going to end up dying to the Iron Charge and the Doom onto Moon.
Oh,
there's going to be a fissure.
By that, I mean, what a whiff.
No. The Fissure catching absolutely no one. Miracle still trying to make his way away. Yang's right behind him. A bit of a zany fight. There's going to be a shackle, though, that buys him just enough time to make it to the safety of his own tier 2. Ends up being a 2-for-2 exchange. And like you said, man, that Fissure just so far off the mark, accomplishing nothing.
FY, normally known for being FY God, showing that he is mortal as well with one of the worst fissures of the tournament. They did get the kill on the Enchantress, who was doomed, but that should have been a 2-hero fissure, and somehow managed to find 0. Just complete misclick coming out from him. It's every now and then it happens. It happens to the best of us. This guy's been the MVP for VG.Reborn up until this point in the tournament, and still is, but VGR finds some nice pickoffs there in the mid lane. This Spectre has been very active and involved. 6 of the 7 kills have seen N's involvement, and that's going to only continue as we move forward.
Yeah, the net worth, even though he was harassed so badly at bottom, is, I mean, it's not where he wants it to be at all, but it's at least in range. He's just shy of 4,000 overall net worth, 4,600 for the Lycan, so not that far behind. However, it's Miracle, the one you said, the one we knew is going to be the phenom, the young talent who is really showing his stuff. coming up on 6K overall net worth now. So 12 minutes in, it is favoring OG, no surprise there, but not that much. I mean, you're talking 3,000, 4,000. There's going to be a haunt, and I'm going to guess there's a bit of a, yep, there we go.
Again, it's the Spectre Haunt, find the bounty hunter, pick him off, and move on from there. And it doesn't like always seem worth it to like, use a haunt to kill a support, but when it's a hero like Bounty Hunter, that's a hero that wants to be actively involved on the map, applying pressure. So taking him out of the picture can be very beneficial, but it will lead to OG securing this tier 1 mid.
And now No-Tail's actually going to go ahead and shapeshift. Earthspike off the mark. Yang trying to turn it around now, gets the Doom off onto Moon. And there's going to be the cast. Will it get good bounces? It will. Sonic Wave catches 3. And screaming out of the woods, Mikasa turning the fight entirely. Earthspike from Fly, and everyone's going to make it away with so little HP. 3 heroes combined for perhaps less than 1 full health bar, managing to make it back to their high ground with only 1 hero lost, being Moon's Enchantress. But hell of a play from Mikasa there.
Yeah, great Sonic Wave. And the initial Doom just getting away from that Earthspike, like really allowing VGR to re-engage. And they did that all without Haunt. If they have Haunt there, it's at least 2 kills, possibly a 3rd. As OG's next move is going to be a smoke into the Roshan pit.
Nope.
Oh, Mikasa, Miracle. He's overextended. The deny.
Oh, that's so huge. Given the net worth of Miracle and how he's managed to climb so far ahead of the rest of the field, robbing them of that kill actually hurts them so much.
Yeah, that would have been massive for the Shaker and the Queen of Pain. Mikasa, who's had a slow start, he's not even in the top 5 in terms of net worth heroes. He thought he had that.
I mean, OG is just, they're playing so well right now. I mean, you look at the kill count, and yes, it's 9 to 6, but you know, they're winning in gold, they're winning in experience, but more importantly, they're winning in momentum, and even more important than that, they're winning in execution.
Yeah.
Crit has level 6 now. He's going to be more of a factor, and it's going to be more important that VGR not only win fights, but win them handily. But, you know, when you look at the itemization, the things that are coming out, the Scepter is just about done, about 500 gold short of it is Miracle. I mean, just all the way across the board. Again, the Bounty Hunter at 6. Even the Enchantress looking pretty solid given how many deaths he has. 1 in 4 on Moon doesn't seem that impressive, but again, his impact has largely been based on how he's forced the enemy to adapt, or at least he did during the first phases of the game. I just feel like one team really accomplished what they set out to do, and VGR maybe checked a few of the boxes, but not all of them.
Yeah, VGR still have work to do. I mean, so much of that goes back to the mid lane not being as favorable as they would have liked, and the Enchantress creating so much space. It forced the Quap to rotate off. It forced the mid lane to be opened up for Miracle to free farm, take a fast tier 1 tower, and VGR are kind of in recovery mode, but they're finding enough kills that they are still in distance of OG.
Fly going to be deleted from the game. Power Shot catches a couple, but Fly not the optimum target there. I think they had much bigger things in mind. In the meantime, let's see. Oh, there's going to be the dust goes off, and now they're going to be trying to chase down Crit. Will they be able to find him? In the meantime, Enchantress does get doomed, but not before she's able to do the damage. Shackle comes flying out of the woods, and End reaches his end. Fly giving chase to Yang along with the rest of OG. Give him one more. How about a double kill for the boy wonder, Miracle?
Spectacular play, time and time again. We're seeing it. Miracle's, he's almost like not done. He's like, let's go win running forward, try and find another, but OG get 4. Just the 1 casualty at the start of the fight, and they couldn't find that secondary catch. They committed the Haunt for the first kill. They got vision of the rest of the OG squad, but they didn't have the lockdown or initiation to get that secondary kill. They didn't get the dust off on the Bounty Hunter early enough, and as a result, OG punished VGR for their overextension.
What a game for Miracle. 5-1 and 4 involved in 9 of the 10 kills that have been tallied by OG so far. 83 last hits, 21 denies at 16.5 minutes, and that's with him having time again to tally those kills and to be all over the map. Right place, right time, every time. Just a great game by him, and VGR's quickly reaching a point where, you know what's scary about this to me, David, is we haven't even seen the Lycan be that big of a factor yet.
Yeah.
We really haven't.
He's just, and that was going back to the previous win when they had the Lycan. It was when he hit that Necrobook where suddenly towers dropped instantly. You win a fight like that, and you lose a tier 3 tower. You lose a melee rack. So No-Tail getting to work towards that Necrobook, he's going to become a true force moving forward.
On the other side, though, there's a Spectre. Like, he's rushing a Radiant Spectre. That's like one of the best kind of turnaround carries in the game.
I mean, you're 100% right, but I think what worries me is, like you said, Radiant Spectre, yes, the Haunt is there, and that's where you really get your team fight advantage from, but it's on a 2-minute cooldown. And 2 minutes against a lineup that is itemized the way OG is leveled the way OG is, has the advantages they do, the Enchantress creeps with Howl, and so on and so on. That is, oh, hang on, crit and mid, and it's going to end up being a free one, as VG happy to claim him one more time.
Yeah,
but like
Sentry.
that 2-minute cooldown is equivalent to at least one good push in a dead tower. You know what I mean?
Yeah, if you can, for OG, fight around the Haunt, and that's what they've done up even before the Radiance comes online. Haunt gets used to kill off, well, most of the time it's been crit. He's almost 50% of the deaths on the OG side, but Crit's doing his job. He's scouting out the heroes, providing the vision, the intel. He's tanking those ganks as the lowest, one of the lower net worth heroes on his team after the Lion, so it's better he dies to the Haunt than someone like No-Tail on the Lycan, or more importantly, Miracle on the Wind Ranger.
And ultimately, he's doing his job. Give vision, be on the map, track heroes like the Spectre, make her feel unsafe, make it difficult for them to just be able to move around even their own side of the map. And that's all the impact he needs have outside of the track gold he'll inevitably give his team with these kills. But, you know, and it's odd, you know, VGR is winning in kills right now, but it's just all about momentum. That said, as much as we're building up OG, they screw up one good time, give up a 4-for-1 or, God forbid, a 5-for-1. All of a sudden, VGR, if Spectre survives that fight, is in a fairly commanding position as well.
This is like the position so many Spectres find themselves in. It's one of the most picked heroes in pub games at the moment because people just... Pub games are played in a much sloppier fashion, and you fall behind, you get so much more money from getting kills, and Spectre is one of the best heroes at just pushing R, getting involved, using your own charge offensively, finding some kills, and then suddenly you've got a Radiance out of nowhere. And doesn't get caught by the Shackle there. That could have been a kill for Miracle if he latches on, but...
Well, No-Tail and company, ready to bring down the Tier 2 top. This will be the first of the Tier 2s to drop. And somehow I doubt not the last, as you said, my friend, that book that was really the turning point last time is complete. We'll see if VGR is going to be able to stop the onslaught.
Relic money is there for N, so he's managed to be like the one securing some of these kills, even given the money there for the D-Ward, so his Relic timing going to be very, very good, and importantly just denying that deep vision from OG, but they've still got the Lycan Wolves, they've still got great scouting tools from the Bounty Hunter as well.
That was really close to a deny there. Nice try by Mikasa.
Also close to a Shackle, Mikasa. So I'm like, yep, good deny attempt. Whoa, good Shackle attempt.
Yep. Get the deny. That one of those situations you get the deny, then you immediately get shackled, blown up, and you just say, you know, meant to do that or whatever. Space created.
Yeah, you pull out the old chat and say worth.
Yep, worth, spelled with an E, as a matter of fact, worth. 20 minutes in, and the plan seems to be going exactly the way OG planned. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense, Aaron.
Miracle sees Akuria.
Oh, got it.
This is not worth if he dies. He's on a big streak here. The Spectre will use the Haunt, goes in, and Miracle has no escape.
Oh, they're going to pick him off. 1,000 gold he just gained there.
Doom, you don't want to take... You leave that kill for Spectre, but... Well, I mean, the Doom tick was maybe what actually got it, so it could have been partially the Spectre on the last hitting it. But either way, Spectre did get some AoE gold. That was a 1,800 gold swing from one kill.
That's
and that's an 1,800 gold swing when they weren't... I mean, 7k gold deficit is not that big. I mean, it's big, but when you've got a Spectre, it doesn't feel as big.
There's a joke in there. I'll leave it alone. OG continuing to just march down lanes. They've cleared out in a matter of, you know, we talked about last game how it went with the Necro book. After they got the book, it took them about 3.5, 4 minutes to clear all 3 Tier 2s. And now No-Tail looking to possibly add a Tier 3 to his collection. There's going to be the Earth Spike, the finger, and Yang is down. Now, he didn't have Doom because he had spit it on Miracle at top, so not that big of a deal, but certainly not helping. Now the Radiance is out. Is this going to be in time? That Tier 3 sitting on 200 HP, make it 0, and it's going to fall. Sonic Wave catches 2, though. Follow-up is there to try to delay things. No-Tail trying the TP. No! So they end up going 2 for 2. The Witch Doctor and the Doom died that time around, but they end up losing their Lycan. Did see how much money he gave, 665. Not a bad payday for
Spectre
VGR.
getting both kills as well, so
Oh,
he
I
gained
didn't see
1,000
that.
from that fight all in all. So picks up Radiance and then instantly has 1,300 gold. Really important hold for VGR, and just great timing as well. The Aegis being gone on No-Tail, he played aggressively, and they timed the initiation as the shapeshift was wearing off. They just held back. It was initially a great play from OG. I love the way they prepped the shapeshift. They waited for it to finish like transformation, and then instantly Lion blinks in and pales as No-Tail's going in. Some great communication and teamwork from No-Tail and Fly. These guys have been playing together. If you go way back to the start of Dota 2, you go back to Heroes of Newerth, and they'll play together on Fnatic. These guys work together in tandem so well, but VGR found their opening back into the fight towards the end of that shapeshift, and they hold on for now. They're still in this game. You do not count this team out just yet.
Now VGR was scouting out Roshan. They got there just a little too early, as it is going to be spawning here soon. But that could be the fight. And I was just going to ask you the same, basically that question. OG, you come away from that going, okay, we just took 3 tier 2s and a tier 3. We should feel good, yet somehow we don't. Yeah. And like, how do you deal with that? Like, do you alter your plan at all? Do you try to maybe change your timing, change your itemization, or do you just say, you know what, we're going to take a Roshan, we're going to go do it again?
You slow it down, but very much the latter. You take a Roshan, you go do it again, you just get that next item or two. They just complete a mech. They've almost got the Dragon Lance on Enchantress as well. They've got the Necro 3, but I think having Aegis with a Necro 3 is going to be go time for them. They're not good. They want to approach the push in a very slow, methodical way. They don't want to just overcommit and go for a dive, because that's where they'll get punished by an Echo Slam, a Witch Doctor Cask, a Fissure, the Spectre Haunt with Radiance. So just slow siege it with the summons, with an Aegis.
Speaking of the summons, I was watching the Wolves were actually harassing the hell out of the Earth Spear, like blocking him as he tried to run back to base, like literally being micro, just trying to slow him down to the point he threw a Fissure just to get past them. So anyway, Roshan gonna drop, and this is really unfortunate for VGR. They were there, they scouted it, and just as Crit walked in to scout it, he respawned. So this is gonna be a free one going to OG, and this is arguably the most important fight of the game for VGR. Yasha is done on end.
I wonder if they smoked before Roche actually died, because this is smoking into the Aegis, very risky and ballsy, but if they can get the jump, they want to jump Lycan and burst him down, because the Aegis is on Windranger.
Look where Crit is. He's in the perfect position. Nope, never mind.
Oh, Lycan, he's caught out.
Oh, wow, that's a very bold Echo Slam. Sonic Wave is there to follow. They're going to get it maybe for free. He's been doomed. Behind that, the fight beginning to spread out a little bit. We're going to have one down. That is the Lycan. And now, Moon and everyone else on the, beautiful jump in from Mikasa, hits the scream, hits all 4. Yang's going to end up dropping to a power shot. It'd be great if they could catch up with the Miracle. There's going to be a Fissure. Did not catch the Windranger this time. Now they're going to throw out the dust just to guarantee that they aren't missing anything.
Mikasa. 20 HP. He gets out. What a ballsy smoke coming out. They knew the only way they win that fight is if they get the catch and the jump on Lycan. Unfortunately for OG, Crit, like you said, you pointed out, he's like, Crit's in the perfect spot, and then he moved. It was, if OG go back and watch it, they're going to be just like, man, they don't know that that smoke's coming their way. The logical play there for VGR is to just sit, wait on your high ground, use the high ground advantage, that choke point, and the fact that you have that high ground vision to defend your base. You've got an Earthshake, you've got a Witch Doctor. You can block off the entrance to your base using a Fissure. I didn't see that smoke coming. OG didn't see it coming. That was a completely out of left field play, and it pays off massively. It buys them time to get this Aegis out of the picture. There's still a decent duration left on it with 3 minutes to go, so OG likely going to group up and make another play, but when it comes to that high ground defense, they're going to have that next item or two. There may be a Manta style on Spectre. That was a big gold swing going the way of VGR.
Oh, yeah. Right now, Spectre is just short of a Manta. Just short of a Manta. And, you know, like you said, it was so out of left field. Lycan had no reason to be there and was just, you know, didn't really mind. I actually thought Lycan had the Aegis. That was my fault as a commentator, not noticing that they'd actually given it to Miracle. And Miracle did survive with it, which is very important, which means they haven't lost all of their momentum. But I feel like in terms of just current game status, it's about even. Like one big fight isn't going to win or lose it for either team, but it is. Oh wow, they do manage to find in, and this is damaging. 700 gold goes to Lion of all heroes.
We'll talk about unexpected plays. VGR expecting the bottom lane push. Even saw a couple heroes down there, but it was a smoked up Lion and Lycan around the middle lane who found that kill on the Spectre.
Yep.
They're very likely able to force a buyback out of this as well. So say goodbye to that 27-minute Manta style.
Bit of waste of Necro creeps here.
Yeah, good cast.
And let's see if they're going to finish it off. Here we go. Focus fire from Miracle. Just look at the damage. Already down to half. And they're ready to try to go in. The Doom did go off on the No-Tail. In the meantime, the battle just forced all the way back. Mikasa going to chase down No-Tail and help finish what the Doom started. Now Yang leading the charge. Miracle deployed to BKB. That's going to expire. They're going to see what they can find. Spectre did buy back for this. Going to be a Shackle. Hits with the creep. Sonic Wave is there, just barely snibs a couple of them. In the meantime, Miracle hit with another fissure. Is he going to drop? Aegis will be expended. And now OG trying to reset VG. You can hear them on stage yelling, wanting to re-engage. Miracle's down. There's going to be the Echo Slam. And Crit ate a bit of that damage. Moon doing what damage he can, but Vici suddenly just charging back out, and that's going to wind up a huge win for VGR. They end up losing their Spectre, though.
Yeah, it's a dieback, and it is track kills going OG's way. So they hold onto their high ground, they buy time. It looks like Crit, one more screen. Mikasa doesn't have mana for it, and the fissure, FY, guesses wrong as to where Crit ran to. He's still fishing. The totem will hit, actually.
Oh, so close.
He doesn't realize, but what is the overall exchange? So 2K gold gain. Yeah, that includes the buyback, because Spectre has negative 287.
Right. Not to mention they got it stinks because the Aegis wasn't that far from expiring, but they did drop the Wind Ranger twice.
Yes, that's a big kill for VG. A Range Rex was lost, so that is a decent 1,500 gold swing for OG as well, which is not included in that team fight recap. So as far as gold exchange goes, it's probably about neutral. And for OG though, I think the worry is that you've got this Lycan, you're really going all in, and he's not going to scale great into the late game. He's getting constantly jumped to start the fight. He's getting doomed. He's getting Blink Echoed. And if you can take No-Tail out, prevent him getting the Shapeshift off, the fight goes well for VGR. We're seeing it time and time again.
Let's talk a bit about Miracle's Wind Ranger. Let me make sure he doesn't have something on the courier already. He doesn't. What's the item call here? Just go straight up damage now that you've got the survivability of the BKB? Do you go something like a Hex?
MKB is going to be probably the ideal choice as far as damage goes, because it can bypass the Radiance, the burn miss chance, which is something really annoying to deal with as someone like a Wind Ranger, where you're just going to be relying on your focus fire for a lot of your damage, and it's a pretty good damage item in general. So probably see an MKB as Miracle's next item pickup. He's got plenty of survivability now with the recent BKB purchase.
1,300 gold for Fly. What about him? What do you think is going to be the buy?
What's Fly up to? Against Spectre, Glimmer Cape's always nice. He pops the Haunt. That's half your HP gone if you're not careful. So being able to Glimmer yourself or a teammate. Other than that, 4-stuff always good just to help reposition someone like the Lycan when he's doomed. You may save the Lycan. Lycan may get doomed, but if you can 4-stuff him away, it could save his life. So one of those two options is probably ideal for him. And for OG, it's kind of concerning. They don't manage to break the melee racks. They get a range racks, but that's not really what they come for when they go for that push. And things starting to swing a bit more towards VGR's favor here in game number 3.
Well, we haven't. Hang on. There's going to be a Blink and a Doom on the Miracle. Spectre haunts in as well. That's a lot of OG back behind that, though.
There's a lot of heals, though.
And here we go. They're actually going to end up split up on the high ground. BKB's deployed on both sides. There's going to be the Finger Miracle caught with the Sonic Wave along with No-Tail. He can't get it. He can't engage. Oh, he gets bashed, but unable to finish him off. There's the Death Ward onto Crit. Will they be able to chase down in? Yo, so close, but the Shuriken toss is right on point. Now it's going to be the pursuit of FY. Crit cannot get loose. Moon doing what damage he can from the low ground. There's a fissure from the high ground. And now DDC just says, peace, I'm out. Crit burning to death, not quite to death, but damn close. Ends up being a 2-for-2 exchange. They get Miracle, but they also once again lose the Spectre.
Yeah, these fights, so neck and neck. Miracle dying and dying on the Spectre. It's kind of, you don't really have a winner as an end result from that. You get a decent amount of farm progression coming out from this Doom, who keeps kind of surviving these fights. We'll have a Shiver's Guard fairly soon, which is going to be a really big item pickup for him. The slow just helping secure some of those kills a bit easier, and just great defensive play from OG, keeping the Wind Ranger alive, using all their heals, but VGR are persistent, and they managed to keep on chasing them down. FY's fissures, after that one misplay in the mid lane, have just been absolutely immaculate. The previous fight at bottom lane, he kept hitting 2 or 3 heroes in these fissures. There again, he's splitting up the OG side so that they can't always back up the heroes they need to. he has just been on point on this Earthshaker.
Looks like OG might be up to something. Gathering as a group, that's going to be a 5-man smoke. They put Miracle out in front and a double damage rune, not a bad find, huh? Let's see.
DDC is a bad find if it's just the Witch Doctor. They want more. FY.
They may get 2. There we go. There's a jump in the Hex, and he managed to hit the Earth Spike on DDC, but it's just going to be a finger onto him. One more impetus will do it. That is a gem, though. It cost him some BKB charges, but the gem is down, so a little bit more valuable than just a standard support kill.
Well, they got the Quap with the focus fire from the double damage Wind Ranger. Quap dies and uses BKB, but more importantly, does not have buyback. So very likely a melee Rex to be claimed at bottom. The Necrobook comes out. They're just going to, they're going to go through this.
And here we go. There's going to be the Echo Slam doing good damage. Buyback puts them all in. They managed to bring down Miracle.
Pushes
Looks
over.
like.
All it took is one. FY's like, yeah, you guys think you can Rax? You killed 2 of us? I don't think so. Remember me?
Yeah, I've got an R button. The R key hasn't been taken off my keyboard yet.
And Echo Slam, Spectre Ultimate. The instant burst potential out of this VGR side is just brutal, and this is with a mech and a pipe on the side of OG. Crits itemized very defensively to try and counterplay that big teamfight combo coming out of the Earthshaker, Queen of Pain, Spectre, but Miracle's Wind Ranger, the BKB does not help when you get instant blink echoed.
OG has to reset once again, 24-20. They're still in the lead by all accounts, but we are getting that stage in the game, half an hour in, give or take, where 4 or 5K net worth lead ain't that much. I mean, we can see the Lycan sitting on about 15K, give or take, 13.5 for the Wind Ranger, but the Spectre right there with them. Has slowed down a bit as End has given up a couple of deaths I'm sure he wish he had back. He's been involved in 23 of the 24 kills VGR have tallied, but he's also died 4 times, and I would say at least 2 of them really he had no business dying.
That's actually insane how his kill involvement in this game and how much he has. You can look at a few of his deaths being a bit excessive, but end of the day, he's managed to say, look, I'm going to make sure I'm in every single fight to give out our team. He's being such a team player, basically. As the carry, he's willing to throw away his life for the sake of ensuring his team win a fight. And then heroes like the Doom end up seeing in the top 4 in net worth, effectively as farmed as the Miracle Wind Ranger at mid. So I don't think the gold lead really speaks too much to where this game currently stands, because I don't see as OG in the lead. If anything, I'd say slight momentum favor and just general advantage going VGR's way. We're at that point where Lycan isn't really getting 15,000 net worth of value out of this hero pick. So the Lycan's starting to fall off, and it's VGR who are having the answer of dealing with either him or Miracle with their initiations.
Well, and ultimately, when you look at the hang on, here we go. They're going to go in. She was going to be deployed. They've got Yang way out front. BKB's out on both sides, chasing them downhill. There's going to be the finger on the Yang. Sonic Wave connects in a big way, and now No Tail has to just hightail it, trying to find some safety, being pursued out by End. He's got an earn charge on him. One more. Oh, they're going to find him. Oh, barely is he able to make it away.
That could have been like a 0 for 4. Somehow OG get out of it relatively unscathed. They do lose 2, but a full ulti commitment. All 5 big ultis used from the VGR side, so OG may lose a T2 tower here, but will find themselves in a position where defending their high ground should be quite possible.
I'll tell you what's kind of deceptive. We haven't mentioned it all. We're at 35 minutes. Only 2 towers have been brought down on the side of OG. Well, it seems like VGR has been pinned under their own tier 3 since about minute 12.
That's where that 5K gold deficit for VGR is just so misleading, because as soon as you get like a pick off or 2 and as soon as those towers start going down, their money bags waiting to be claimed for VGR. And I can only imagine, we're about back to even after that tower and successive kills going VGR's way. So OG have got to be really sweating right now. They've smoked up. Roche is respawned, but I wonder if they're ideally thinking, they're fighting around the ulti cooldown. Still 4 ultis on cooldown, just the Queen of Pain with the Axe.
They're going to run into a whole team. BKB's going to go off. Now they're going to have to track on the Yang, trying to focus fire. Shackle doesn't latch BKB off from Miracle, dodges the fissure. And now they're going to turn and go right on the Mikasa. He's down. Let's see if they're able to catch anyone else. DDC 4-staffed. VGR wants to reset here. Like you said, the big cooldowns not ready. It's 12 seconds till Haunt. And there's going to be the shackle, catches just DDC. Going to try to re-engage Yang there once again with the Shivas. In the meantime, Moon pecking away from distance. Here comes Mikasa off the buyback. Sonic Wave got 2, and the cask is going to hold him in place. And will Miracle get away? Yes! Barely able to get away. Yes, here comes the haunt. There's going to be the slow, and that diffusal blade showing itself. But will it be enough? Moon's been doomed. Here comes Yang, but there's just too much damage output on the side of OG. Yang, oh, there's going to be the Echo Slam. FY trying to turn the fight, and he may have done just that. Down goes Crit. 4 down, only No Tail still stands. And he's got to run. In fact, he's got to run on all 4s if he wants to get away now. 4 down, it cost a buyback, a dieback actually from the Queen of Pain, but the shift of momentum and overall just the shift in the overall advantage going heavily in the way of VGR.
It's crazy because it's very much, for VGR and just this game in general, a game of the ultimates. The fight starts well for OG, but then the ultis start coming back up. The Queen of Pain buyback just meaning that there was the Sonic Wave coming into the picture. Then FY's Echo Slam comes back up. He gets their expert damage. Then the Haunt was what secured the kill on Miracle. The initial smoke was very much like, okay, they've got about 30-40 seconds, those ultis on cooldown, but OG just didn't get enough out of the smoke. The one Queen of Pain kill meant that VGR had the opportunity to utilize the Quop's buyback, re-engage around their ultimates, and take OG down. And OG, for the first time this game, may not find themselves able to take the easiest Roche here. Every Roche up until now has been uncontested, but if VGR can get their ultis back up, Haunt on 30 seconds, they're actually going to be able to contest this if they're able to push themselves out on the map. And with top lane pushing, I think there's a very good chance they stop OG's Roche now.
It's going to be close, man. Once they get in there, the medallion is going to bring him down so fast. I mean, look at the damage already.
Nice enchant onto the Spec Illusion too, so they keep them away. Haunt up in 11. It may just be a tiny bit too short.
Ooh. They don't have Echo Slam either. They do have Death Ward. He's going to go in with the Shivas. Just going to commit to it. And he actually gets stunned. Now he's going to be force-staffed away. Oh, beautiful 2-man Earth Spike. Now Fly going to pay the price for that. In the meantime, VG is just melting to the damage output of OG. They move back into the pit. Mikasa there with another great ulti. Crit, forced to turn and flee before coming back. And they're going to continue to try to chase them down. It's a 2-for-2 with the buyback now on Crit. Moon next on the list. He's been diffused, and there's going to be an Earth Spike buying some time. Mikasa right behind Moon. He's going to continue to try to chase him out. In the meantime, Yang being pursued by 3. He will be caught and hexed. Here comes in, trying to get back involved. He's going to use the Manta. Yang is still up, trying to engage on the fly. Use that mana burn to his advantage. Yang eating damage from Moon. Moon couldn't have 100 HP, and he's still pecking away and getting kills. So is End, as a matter of fact. Crit has bought back. Crit has died back, but End is next on the list as Moon, walking around with no HP for the majority of that fight, ends up being the deciding factor.
That ends. How much damage are we looking at? 1,500 No Tail, 4,000 hero damage. Holy cow, just like it. Pick this hero more for the guy. Absolutely insane team fight from OG. Moon towards the end, able just to pick heroes off one by one with the impedance. I feel like he did more hero damage in that team fight recap. I'm not sure that was entirely accurate because he completely destroyed the Doom as well as Spectre with those impetuses towards the end. And the key thing is the fight starts and VGR were just a tiny bit short. They were 10 seconds short of the Doom. The Spec Haunt came up probably at a reasonable time, although he wasn't there at the start of the fight, and Earthshaker got taken out of the fight. That's the first fight where we really see OG prioritize killing off FY.
Yep.
And despite having a Ghost Scepter, 4-staff, he wasn't able to use those items to keep him alive.
Here we go again, round 2, Miracle. Wow, that was easy. Sonic Wave catches 2, but it's a follow-up there. A lot of damage coming out of one person, but that's not enough. They needed the rest of the team. There's going to be a buyback from the Shaker.
They want to contest Roche. They're
yes,
so
they do.
And when Spectre respawns, he's got Haunt. So for Earthshaker, it's like get in position so he can be as close to the Roche pit as possible, and then when Spectre's back, we go. Spectre actually has a buyback, but with 10 seconds to respawn, you'd never want to use that buyback.
Here we go, No Tail just running interference at this point. Roche is going to end up dropping, and VG immediately going to turn around.
Great smart play from No Tail. His BKB uses there doesn't matter because it's a 5-second cooldown anyways, although it could matter if they engage.
Oh, they catch him. There's going to be the Haunt in as well. In the meantime, let's see if they want to go to the high ground. They absolutely do. Like is going to end up dropping. End is up there by himself, caught with the shackle. Now Yang is there. Yang has Doom in 2 seconds. Will he be able to jump ahead? What's going to be the... No, he actually didn't find a target just as it came off cooldown.
Miracle with Aegis has no buyback though, so it's a very precarious position for him to be in as he buys the Demon Edge. And VGR will back up, regroup, not looking to take any kind of follow-up fight with Spectre's Haunt still on cooldown.
Well, I think we got our wish, man. We had 2 stompy games, and this one's shaping up to be a barn burner.
It's so hard to call Hooven as they had. Spectre has overtaken the net worth lead, and this is a hero that will continue to pull weight going into the late game. Now involved in 30. What? How is he in 30? 12 kills, 24 assists. Is my math that bad?
No, you're not.
You know, I was bragging. I was saying how great this Spectre's been. He's been in every kill except one, and now he's been in more kills than all the kills.
He's been involved in so many kills. He slipped out, murdered someone else.
I actually started second guessing like my second grade math education. Like 12 plus 24. I'm pretty sure that's 36. What? Well, I guess he got credited assist for the denies, perhaps. Well, I don't know. There hasn't been any denies recently. I'm flabbergasted. This is
no. There was the deny on Miracle. Remember?
Well, that
but that counted.
Stage, yeah, that did. Well, at that point he was in every kill except one. So it's changed since then. Did you get an assist for Roshan?
I think basically game is broken or casters suck is what I'm saying. There's something we missed.
Am I overlooking something? You don't get assists for Aegis kills, do you? That's never been something I'm aware of. Who knows?
I'll tell you what. Give it an hour. Reddit will tell us. There'll be a hot shot or an odd shot, and we'll it'll be fun. So there you go, guys. There's your mission for the next 30 minutes or so. Make sure you clue us in.
Yeah. There must be some bug where he got like a kill and an assist for, like he got the kill, but he also got credit and assist somehow.
Yeah,
that's my
the
best
illusion,
guess.
maybe like a bug with Radiant's illusion burn.
Yeah,
something like that.
Oh, you know what it was? I reckon the enchanted Spectre illusion probably, and he may have got an assist for like an OG kill, for example. Like his enchanted mantle illusion. That's pure speculation. But anyways, back to the game. This is neck and neck.
Somebody figure it out. Ooh. Val, please. 44 minutes in, we've got a total of 63 kills. This has been a very active game in every sense of the word. And okay, let's take a step back, take a bit of a breath. Talk to me about the ultra late game, because honestly, if these teams keep slugging it out this way, I could see this easily making it to at least 50, if not 60 plus minutes. What's the advantage look like on either side there?
I'm all about VGR in the ultra late game. They've got Spectre who can have the buyback 2 lives. You take the fight, then you buy back, you haunt in again. You can have that luxury refresher in your stash if you want to use the haunt to enter the fight, then buy back and haunt again. Refresher Doom, you take 2 heroes out of the fight. You've got Earthshaker who provides tons of lockdown and control. This is one of those amazing late game heroes just because BKBs get down to 5 seconds, so you get tremendous value out of all of his stuns. On the OG side, Lycan, a hero that kind of falls off and can struggle in the late game. A Bounty Hunter, who's a pure utility hero. It's all about the win range and providing huge damage and just carry potential in the late game. So there's a lot of pressure on Miracle. And for OG to win in a late game scenario, they have to basically outplay and out-execute VGR, which means being the ones to get the jump, kill someone like a Doom before he uses a single ultimate. If Doom gets off both his ultimates, if Spectre gets off a good haunt, I think OG just straight up lose the fight. So OG have to get good vision of the map. They need to be the ones getting the jump, and they can't let VGR start taking control of this game.
Well, OG has moved into the Radiant side jungle. They're doing a good job of at least planting their flag there. I was trying to see. They never did replace the gem, by the way. They lost the gem at one point. It's been a while ago. They've yet to buy a new one.
Also, just the one last thing about the late game, perhaps not giving credit to this player, Moon. This guy, Enchantress, dishes out huge right-click damage, so he's actually the other secondary carries who go into the late game. We're going to see more hero damage out of Moon than a hero like Lycan in the late game, quite likely, but something that VGR likely to be wary of, and they may even start prioritizing killing off Moon more so as we see future fights happen.
Yeah, he's picked up the Moon Shard, so not only does he have the range, he has the fire power and the fire rate. And both teams playing very cautiously here. Aegis is going to expire, and it's going to be 3 minutes until our next Aegis will be up. So it may just be a waiting game. Maybe both teams just hanging out, trying to play it safe, farm where they can, maybe play the Vision more for a little while, then eventually just have another big show off with all the cooldowns off.
One smoke available on the VGR side, but they're waiting to see where OG are. They're actually hiding in their base because OG are kind of sitting on their high ground. And both teams are just like, oh, we're going to hide in our high ground because you're missing. So until Hero starts showing on the map, no one willing to move out. But with Miracle showing top, and one of the important things at this stage is recognizing that Miracle without boots of travel, it means if he's top, he can't suddenly show up bottom lane. You want to really be ideally itemizing towards that boots of travel as soon as possible because it gives away a lot of information about where the entire OG team is. When Miracle shows top, OG's all there. So that opens up the bottom lane for Spectre to push it out and farm, and the other 4 heroes will smoke up, looking to start a fight to follow up with the Spectre Horn.
Yeah, I was going to say it's the exact opposite, you know, for the Wind Ranger versus the Spectre. You see Spectre somewhere, that doesn't tell you anything.
Yes.
So VGR moving out.
Getting
and
wards down. It's kind of like they want to find pickoffs where possible, but secondary objective, get wards out. And that's where OG want to have a gem or want to make sure they're dewarding this when possible. Lycan Wolves, kind of underrated spell in the late game because of just how much vision control they give you. And we're going to see those just constantly on scouting missions. They don't really offer much as far as damage and teamfight presence.
Another smoke up coming straight up mid. Spectre's
on
out
Miracle.
front, but she has got an entire team behind her.
Miracle
Yep.
has no buyback. That's the big important thing to note for the next fight. If he dies, it could just be game over for OG. He's got a position. He's going to be hoping that like the doom is not on him. He needs to be able to get the cheese off if he gets low. So if VGR can do Miracle and kill him without the cheese coming off, that's going to be the ideal way to win the fight. The thing is, VGR don't know this buyback status, so whether or not that's going to be the way they approach the fight is another matter.
Was that just amazing restraint from OG not engaging on to end there? Like, he ran up right next to them.
Yep.
And it's just really good. Just, hey, they probably have a team there.
It's also a, hey, that's a Spectre. If we engage, even if we kill him, he buys back Haunt, we lose Dota. That's
We
it.
lose Dota.
There's, you
We
lose
no
Star
longer,
Ladder.
we no longer defend the Ancient. Got it.
Ancient, gone. So Roshan not up for a couple of minutes, but again, it's map control at this stage of the game for VGR. They've got the gem on the Queen of Pain. She's just blinking around, popping onto cliffs, trying to find any dire wards. And anytime they can see those wolves, they want to just make sure they get taken away from OG.
Such an intense moment. Standoff in the pit. We're talking not long at all for our buddy Roche to make his presence known once again. Everyone's ultimates ready to roll. And unfortunately for OG, if there's one place where it would seem at least that Vinci's team fight would shine the most, it would be in the confined spaces of the pit. There we go. They're going to see it with the power shot. And let's see who wants to take the first move.
Roshan does become slightly less important compared to like 20 minutes ago when OG were like trying to siege high ground with Aegis and Cheese. But having an Aegis on the Spectre is still huge for either team. And for the side of OG, Aegis onto Miracle. You'd rather have that than the Cheese at this stage. And then it also gives him the room to perhaps upgrade those phase boots into boots of travel and forgo having a buyback.
We can see a little bit of game planning going on. Just saw was Fly, who actually just drew a path on the map. And he wanted them to go around the outside edge. Looks like everyone just playing so carefully. Miracle showing himself in mid. In the meantime, No Tail's going to find a haste room. And Vici.
See Miracle here with an Observer Ward.
There's going to be a BKB on the Enchantress. I feel like that's actually a very clutch item for Moon. Like you said, his damage output is no joke at this stage.
He's kind of like the Wind Ranger where it's like huge single target right-click damage. You want to make sure you get it off. And against the lockdown and control that Earthshaker brings to the table, having a BKB becomes essential. And that's a full 10-second BKB for the next fight. So getting the BKB this late in the game can be incredibly valuable.
Well, Roche is up, and it's going to be OG taking their shot. And it looks like, yeah, this is not being read by Vici. They want to go into the enemy jungle.
For VG, you want to fight on your own terms. And even if that means giving up a free Aegis and Cheese, it's not the end of the world for them. I think VG getting Aegis is a much bigger deal than OG getting it.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, looks like they're just going to hang tight.
As far as, I think they're also concerned about a few heroes not having buyback. Doom is short 300. Mikasa wants to buy a Hex. He's a couple hundred gold short of it. And FY, his buyback status, yeah, he's actually 10 gold short of buyback on Earthshaker. So there's a few heroes just a tiny bit short of having buybacks on the VGR side. So they're probably just saying, let's not risk a fight we don't want to. We've had a great high ground defense up until now. And when OG are coming at us grouped together, we're getting these amazing jumps where we just blink Echo or blink Doom No Tail, take him out of the picture, and then take the fight from there using the Spectre Horn.
Right.
Wonder what I'm really curious what N gets here. He's got 6k gold. Won't necessarily buy something until he can. Okay, well he will if he can have buyback. He's 200 short, so needs to be a little bit careful, but should be able to easily farm that before the high ground is breached.
Yeah, there's that plus more at bottom already piling
His
up.
Manta Illusions, I think. Yeah, his Manta Illusions actually just farmed in the buyback money. So BKB worried about just what the Lion and the Shackles can bring to the table here. The Impetus, of course, going through the spell immunity, and that's something which will still do a lot of right-click damage to him.
OG going to go ahead and retreat as much as they can. They've got a whole team there. Lycan is showing at top. And, yeah, they're going to need to go ahead and bail out.
Yeah. A little bit surprised to see this BKB pickup. I was expecting something more along the lines, like a refresher is actually can be amazing with the double horn.
Oh, yeah.
Even a butterfly. The MKB is there on Wind Ranger, but having the evasion against the Enchantress, having the extra armor from it, Assault Crest, another possibility, but BKB just shores up that. If you want to go in and kill the Lion at the start of the fight, 100% he's dead. There is no 4-staff. I remember you asked me like 30 minutes ago, what's Fly's next item? He had 1,500 gold and a Blink Dagger. You're like, oh, what's his next item? Well, he's now got 1,000 gold and has not bought anything. So
a gem. He actually bought another gem. Yeah. That's probably where the gold went. So
it's been a hard game for him because he's often going down in these fights. I think he may have even used buyback in one of the engagements, but
well, let's see. This is becoming one of the more strategic games I think we've seen at Star Ladders so far. Just a lot of maneuvering and not a lot of overcommitting in this game. Maybe we saw that a lot in the Game 1 and Game 2 of this series, but now this is the tournament lives of both teams on the line. Game 3, if you're just tuning in, OG and VGR. What seemed to be a game that was going to be slipping away from VGR right about 15, 20 minutes just turned on its head. Yeah. And Vici since then has been in pretty good shape, and it's been a stalemate ever since.
And yeah, that's the main thing with their lamp is they don't just, they're very ulti dependent, and they also don't really push or something. It's like you find yourself in a good position, but it's a good position based on OG coming to you and giving you team fights. VGR's lineup doesn't naturally go in the aggressive and initiate force fights by pushing towers. They find fights when the enemy come to them, so they're not in a position where they can just push down a lane, try and take a lane of racks because they have no hero that really threatens to siege.
Well, that might be changing now. Scythe of Ice just now completed on Mikasa, so not the big-time initiator, but certainly having that Hex, if you're able to get it on the Lycan quickly, or Miracle in particular. Miracle still holding on to that Aegis.
Yep. And always being safe and ensuring that buyback goes with it. Like the Queen of Pain only waits until she has buyback money before buying that Hex, so VGR do have some great catch potential. And this means they don't have to commit something like a Blink Echo Slam if they want to engage on Miracle, because the Hex is the BKB counter as well.
Well, looks like they are going to start really trying to choke the map out. They've been spending, they've spent basically every bit of the last few minutes on the opposite side of the river, so they are slowly shrinking the terrain OG has to work with. But as soon as I say that, of course, they all pull back.
And of course, OG are close to kind of 6-slotted on most of their core heroes anyway, so losing less of the map to farm isn't so much the problem as what's your win condition going on from here. They really want VGR to come to them because it's become this stalemate because OG, when they're going on the aggressive initiate into VGR, they play into the hands of the big teamfight wombo combos that the Earthshaker, the Queen of Pain, the Spectre Horn bring to the table, but VGR as well, despite being the ones who have the teamfight edge, can't just go and force a fight. That's where you play into the hands of Miracle, who hits a 2-hero shackle, can take heroes away quickly. So seems like VGR's solution is just offer a bit of split push threat. They send the Spectre top just to chip at the tower with Manta Illusions, but OG can quickly adapt. They'll just keep Moon on the Spectre push. They can always steal those illusions.
Miracle caught and hexed, and there's going to be the haunt in from End. They are barely going to be able to get the Aegis. Now, oh, here we go, Yang. Yang did use the Doom. Fly's going to drop behind the fight. Now Miracle's going to hit a shackle and be able to focus him down. 4-staff, double 4-staff, almost bought him enough time, but now OG has to be real careful. Vici turning the tide. Moon's going to eat the cheese, pop his own BKB, try to do damage. There's that fissure, catching No Tail. Sonic Wave, fresh off cooldown. Moon sent packing, and now there's the Echo Slam as well, trying to catch Miracle. Has been hexed one more time. Mikasa chasing him up. Will they be able to catch him? Echo Shell is on him. Even the Satyr getting involved in the action, and down he goes. So it's Doom down for 3. And this may be the moment when this game has officially changed. And I'm pretty sure, yep, count them to 3 as Spectre tallies a triple kill. And there's that refresher.
Yeah, she has 2 lives here to push with, including a haunt on respawn. This is devastating. Notel actually bought components for the AC and doesn't have buyback as a result.
Oh, no.
A bit of a misplay here coming to the late game, and as a result, it's only Miracle on the Wind Ranger with a buyback for this defense. Great Doom selection on the Moon. If you take out the Enchantress, prevent the Impetus damage, that teamfight just gets that much easier, but VGR don't want to mess around. They back off with Spectre getting as low as she did to the Impetuses. I think you'd rather not have to use the buyback if possible,
Right.
because it keeps you in a safer position. So despite a huge teamfight victory, OG not going to lose a single Rax, just a tier 3 tower.
Yep, just a reset. And the refresher, no room at the end in Spectre's inventory, so are they going to do the keep it on the courier deal? No, it's going to stay in the stash for now.
It's the buyback. It's like
Right.
he dies, he buys. He can haunt, go in, die if he has to, buy back and refresh.
Yeah,
So it also refreshes his BKB, so that's another
that's
kind of
actually
nice
an
thing too.
excellent point.
But he had to rebuy his Diffusal, just sitting on a Diffusal 1 here. If he gets really rich, he may as well just upgrade it to a Diffusal 2 for the extra agi, but not too big of a deal.
Well, OG has got to be not feeling great. Not long ago, it was about, I guess it has been about 14 minutes. We saw the very first time that VGR took the lead, and now they're up to their biggest lead of the game and damn near the biggest lead of the game, period, for either side.
They're going to be feeling at least okay about the fact they didn't have to use a single buyback despite losing that fight.
Oh, here we go, VGR. Moving up as 4, Spectre showing in bottom lane. There's that Assault Cuirass that ultimately did not end up costing No-Tail. It looks like they're going to abandon it. They're looking for a free one, but they don't want to overcommit, trying to chase beyond the steps in front of the tier 3s. Oh, crit. Hexed out. Will they get him? There's going to be an Echo Slam. That catches Moon, and the Sonic Wave caught 2, and it also got No-Tail as he rushed in. And the buyback immediately out of Moon. There's a Shackle, doesn't latch, tried to get it off of a creep. No-Tail, oh, he's going to be caught from behind. No-Tail ends up dropping, no buyback for the big bad wolf, and VGR is on the march now. Yang moving forward, Moon has to run. BKB's only thing keeping him alive. Miracle drops, Moon next on the list, or right on top of him, and it doesn't matter, untouchable or not, get touched, says VGR. As there's a buyback from Miracle, last real hope here. 100 seconds for the Enchantress, a minute for Lycan. They're going to be able to take at least 1 set of racks, probably 2, and probably take the game.
They're going for the throne. They have another Doom. If Miracle comes near, he's just going to get doomed up. He has no way to really fight into this, and I think it's just game over. OG have been bested here in this best of 3, it looks like.
Well, we called it, my friend. 2 stomps and a hell of a game to close things out. Just shy of an hour. Might even be an hour by the time they drop it. Nah, there it is.
They just used their team fight so well this game. They played so well under pressure. It was an OG team who got momentum, had complete Roche control, 2-3 Roches in a row. They go for those pushes, but VGR took the chances, took the fight to OG, and somehow held onto that bottom racks for time and time again.
We knew it. We whispered it between each other. Just had the feeling of that game with the Spectre. All it was going to take was 1 at most 2 team fights, and what seemed to be a dominant early and early mid game could just crumble for OG. And it certainly isn't as if they didn't hold their own. They took it all the way down the line. It was a great performance. The final box score does not at all tell the story for players like Miracle in particular. Moon, as you had pointed out, doing a great job. Ultimately, though, it winds up being VGR's game. VGR advances, and OG is going to have to pack their bags and head home. We're going to have an interview coming up here in just a minute, my friend, but while we wait for that to get set up, it looks like it shouldn't be too much longer. Who's your MVP, quickly?
God, so hard. Either FY or end on the Spectre. I'm going to have to go FY. He's the captain. He's the leader. FY, he made the clutch plays that bought them time when OG had the Aegis with that initiative to go for the Blink Echoes, to initiate onto No-Tails, Lycan. Spectre a close second, though, but I give it to FY.
Like you said, I mean, N played well, but FY, it's so hard to go in any other direction. I feel like Mikasa played deceptively well, especially down the stretch as well. But once again, great win for VGR as they advance their way through. Here our third day at Star Ladder, and we're going to be going to the stage now, looks like. Oh, no, not yet. Sorry. Thought they were ready. But, yeah, I mean, like, this strategy that OG tried to deploy, it seemed to be on track. Where do you think the ultimate misstep was? Just a little too greedy in what they were pushing for?
It was the one fight where VGR smoke up and No Tail is the one who gets found when they smoke. If Crit is in position to scout that one, and I say in position, it's just so unexpected that's why it works, because No Tail isn't thinking that movement's going to come. But if for whatever reason OG there reach the high ground or just have to reach the base, 5 heroes intact with an Aegis, they get a lane of racks, and the momentum there maybe carries them forward. That was the deciding moment of this game where momentum swung back the way of VGR.
Well, again, VGR advances 2-1, and we got one more series coming up following this. Again, congrats to VGR. We'll have an interview with one of our winning captains. Up here's the interview.
Very long game, 1 hour, but this was amazing, actually. You have a 100% win rate on Spectre, but weren't you afraid to pick her against such an aggressive opponent's pick?
这个是这场比赛历时1个多小时，然后非常艰苦，然后这次你们选了这个幽鬼吗？然后这个幽鬼的胜率是100%，然后你们对选这个幽鬼，就是对幽鬼这个英雄有没有什么认识？
我们第2局其实前2、3个英雄其实跟这把差不多，然后我们讨论了我们输的原因，然后觉得因为我选的小狗，然后没有来个属于比往后拖的大河，然后在面对他们狼人的时候，我们会选择前期跟他们开战，所以显得很吃亏，所以我们第3把也是讨论了需要一个镇得住场面的一个核心。然后他们对中路的保护，包括那他们的那个中单嘛，个人能力特别强。打之前我也说了，肯定我打他肯定是会吃亏的，或者是被压什么的。你们必须让他们4个扛住局势，然后带我躺赢。
So we lost the second game. So we discussed about it, and we made the conclusion that we picked the hero as next in the second game. So we think that our opponent, their Miracle, is a very stronger opponent. So we must pick the
something
Spectre,
you're sure at, yeah?
To make sure that we can win in the later game. So we really made some change in the second game.
That worked. Congratulations. What are you going to do tonight? You're going to rest, or you're going to prepare for tomorrow's matches?
今天晚上准备有什么打算？准备好好休息一下，还是准备继续再准备一下，准备明天的那个比赛？
因为这次比赛虽然赢了吧，明天还有比赛，应该会选择休息，然后看一下接下来的比赛吧，然后争取跟明天对手好好认真对待吧。
We will just take a very little rest and watch some replays. We will absolutely watch the next games and make some preparation for the games tomorrow.
Okay, thank you very much for the interview and good luck tomorrow. And we go back to our analysis.